Hey everybody, this is the Pro Legion. I haven't uploaded in a while, and I apologize for that, but I thought of a new series to start today on the channel, and it's working with Linux and Ubuntu. So me studying computer science and being really good at programming has really got me thinking, since I am such a fountain of wisdom to people around me, why not try and concentrate that into something that I can educate people with? So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be installing Virtualbox, and we're going to be installing Linux inside of it. All right, let's get started. So Linux is an open source operating system, but what is Virtualbox? Well, Virtualbox is a type 2 hypervisor. It basically allows you to host an operating system inside of your computer so that you have a guest operating system inside of your main one, which is called the host operating system. So doing this, we can create a whole separate computer kind of inside of our computer that we can use to run any operating system that we want. So we're going to use Virtualbox to install Ubuntu on Windows here. Alright, the first thing that we're going to need is an image to install Ubuntu from, so we can look up Ubuntu Desktop ISO, and we can go to ubuntu.com and download Ubuntu 20.04 LTS and just hit download that, and it'll probably take a little bit to download. It's a big file. And the other thing you need is Virtualbox. So if you just look up Virtualbox and click on Virtualbox, depending on if you're on Windows or Mac OS, you go to downloads and you either click OS X hosts or Windows hosts. I'm going to click Windows hosts, and it starts downloading it right here. Alright, once you install Virtualbox and run it, this is what your screen should look like. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new virtual machine. I am going to call it Linux VM. It's automatically detected the type is Linux. I'm going to set mine to 4 gigabytes of RAM. I'm going to create a virtual hard disk. It's going to ask me if I want to create one. Yep. So I'm going to make my disk size 20 gigabytes. I would recommend setting it to something more if you plan on using this for any other longer time than I am for this. 20 gigabytes is what I'd say to be enough for an initial installation. So you just create, and now it's good to go. Now before I actually power this on, I'm going to hit the settings button here. I'm going to go to the systems settings here, processor, and increase the amount of processors from 1 to 4. This is so that it can use multiple cores. And also, very important, go over here to display and enable 3D acceleration. This significantly improves the performance of 3D graphics inside the virtual machines for your mouse and such, and for dragging around windows. If you don't have that enabled, all that stuff has to be done by the CPU, and it can be really, really slow. So I found that having that enabled is a really good idea. So we're going to hit OK, and now we're going to start the virtual machine. Alright, now it's going to pop up that it doesn't know it needs a virtual disk. I already have the ISO selected here, but if you don't, you just hit that and then add here, and it'll take you to your file system to choose an ISO. I have a bunch here. I just selected it, and then I just uploaded it here. But since I already have it installed, I just click start. And now we're going to go through first time setup. Go ahead and click cancel checking disks if it asks you to. Alright, once it finishes loading, you'll get a screen that looks like this. You can try Ubuntu, or you can install Ubuntu. We're going to install it, so we click install, choose your language, US, so that's me, so we continue. Normal installation, I'm going to install third-party software so that I don't have to wait later, so we're going to click that. If you are doing an express installation, you can also choose minimal installation, but this is the full I want to do a full installation, so I'll choose that. Alright, now we can choose where it's going to be installed. We want to obviously erase the disk and install it, so we'll install now. Continue. Alright, now it asks where we are. So Chicago is the closest location to where I am, so I'll choose that. Alright, now we can choose settings for our computer. I can choose its name. I'm just going to call it VBox. Keep that. Pick username. I guess I'll just keep VBox. I'm going to choose a password. I'm going to let it log me in automatically because I don't care about security, but I would keep that the same if I were you. And now we have to wait for it to install. Alright, the installation is done. It says I need to restart, so I'll go ahead and hit the restart button. Let it do its thing. Alright, now it's asking us to remove our installation medium, so we just press enter and then it's done. Alright, now the VM is going to restart, and now it's going to load into Ubuntu. Alright, once the virtual machine starts up, we get prompted for a bunch of things. Online accounts, you can just skip that. Live patch, skip that. You can do this if you want. I don't want to. Privacy, I don't care. Ready to go. All right, hit done. So now we go to the command prompt by going to these dots down here and search for terminal. So now what we're going to do is update the virtual machine. So what we do for that is sudo apt get update. Enter your password, and it should start grabbing information. Sudo is short for superuser-do, and it's basically the root user. So when you invoke that, it's basically telling the operating system to do this as the root user. So now that it's gotten the update, you have to do another command to actually install the update. apt-get just gets all available updates, and then this command, sudo apt upgrade, actually installs them. So it's going to prompt you if you want to install an additional stuff. Go ahead and get yes, and now it's going to install those updates. Alright, so this took about 5 minutes to do, but now it's done processing triggers, and now we have our command prompt back, so all the updates are done. So if we try and do the command again, alright, so there are no more updates to install. So that's it for this video, guys. I will see you next time.